Well, good morning, guys. It's Tuesday. Boris Johnson is back. We still don't know what happened to Kate, and Rishi Sunak has finally decided to take charge of the energy crisis. It's time for an alternative paper review. First up to the Daily Telegraph this morning, Sunak's new gas plants ease the risk of blackouts. So here's a question for you. Who remembers when the subject of blackouts was dismissed as sort of Ramona scaremongering? Project Fear. Do you remember that? Well, now it turns out that, like much of Brexit reality, it is something real that we should all be worried about. It's something the government are actively working on. Maybe the ageing population and peak oil will be next. It says PM vows to build power stations and ensure energy supply despite net zero pledge. Okay, so he's vowing to build them. He's not actually building them. He's saying that he will. It's a pledge of sorts, isn't it? I wonder if there's some other pledges we can look back on, see how he performed on those. Next up to the Sun this morning. Lay off, Kate. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? That's nice from these sort of sensitive, compassionate paragons of virtue over at the Sun, who normally don't so much lay off as tear in to her sister-in-law. Oh, just lay off of her, all right? Just give her a break. She's been through enough. Has she? What has she been through? Tell us, please. Now, this is obviously the royalist right-wing rag, The Sun. It's their attempt to get everybody to just back off from all the weird conspiracy theories and obsessiveness. You know, it's not healthy, guys. What is wrong with you all? But, of course, the problem is that a lot of this stuff is not conspiracy. You know, she did put out a faked photo. Nobody actually thinks that's her saying, I put out a fake photo. It's not just some clumsily edited Instagram filter editing going on there. That is true Photoshop. And it has been identified as much by the data within the photo that says it was shot on professional equipment, it was saved twice on a MacBook Pro, edited in Adobe. But still, Buckingham Palace is sticking to the line that she did it, Prince William took it, she then edited it, she was experimenting with AI and editing tools, and that she was allowed to put it out without approval across all of the front pages and all of the newspapers, and everything is fine, guys, because look, they left Windsor together yesterday. But still, nobody's explaining the ringless finger. They're not releasing the originals of those photos. The bricks on this photo they released yesterday look weird. And I have to say, this is the most that I've enjoyed royal news in forever, you know? Because I hope nothing bad has happened to Kate Middleton. I really do. But I do enjoy seeing a mess entirely of Buckingham Palace PR department's making and them scrabble around to try to get a handle on it. I'm also really enjoying The Times and The Sun witlessly retailing out Buckingham Palace's line that she took it and edited it when we know that's going to blow up in a couple of days. Like, I was reading The Times last night, and it's the associate editor of The Times. It's like, Palace sources say once the princess realised the big furore, she wanted to come clean. She was actually very embarrassed. And I'm like, that is not what has happened here. Like, if you cast your mind back a couple of weeks ago, Prince William abruptly cancels his appearance and he has to go and attend to a personal matter. Like, they didn't say what it was. He just didn't appear. And then they said, oh, it's for personal reasons. We still don't know what that was, right? We know it wasn't to do with the king and his cancer because that was asked and rejected just straight out the back. So we know he left a place on a personal matter. We know that we haven't seen any photos of her for literally weeks. We know that she had some sort of surgery, apparently, allegedly. We've had this picture of her, apparently, reportedly. It's reasonably far away, in the dark, with shades on. Could be her sister. Some people are saying that it is. We still don't know if this is her. Then we've had the faked one. Now we've had one with dodgy bricks. It just, like, all of this brings up connotations of cover-up and embarrassment. Like, something has happened. Something has happened in Buckingham Palace. They think it's hugely embarrassing. If you want to know what my theories are, here we go. I think probably odds on she did go in for surgery and something went wrong. Like, if it's facial surgery and now they just can't show pictures of her face, that would explain it. I really hope that isn't what happened, because can you imagine being the most photographed woman in the world and then having some sort of facial surgery go wrong? So it could be that, right? That would explain all of this weirdness. The other option, I think, is that their marriage has completely imploded. Like, something happened around Christmas time or New Year's or whatever. Maybe she found out about an affair. Some people are saying it's with Rose Hanbury. And she just wants out. She wants a divorce. And this whole period since then of her living in Windsor, the surgery, all of that is about managing this situation and trying, begging, pleading with her to try to make this work. And that's why she won't sit and pose nicely for the Buckingham Palace camera guys. And that is why she's looking away in the car as they're leaving yesterday. So yeah, I think obviously something has happened. And the explanations today do not cut the mustard. So Buckingham Palace now have a decision to make. Are they going to continue to dig themselves in a deeper and deeper hole and make themselves look ridiculous as a publicly funded PR agency who are now actively lying to the public? Are they going to do that, or are they just going to come clean?
Prince Andrew's a nonce burger.
Finally to the Times, who say Johnson is going to join the election campaign in the Red Wall. So this is a nice, uplifting story for you to round off the bulletin today. It's this idea that Johnson is an electoral asset. I'm always here for this idea. People are always on Twitter going like, we need to bring Boris back. He'll win the election for us. Boris Johnson, since 2019, right up to the point he was ejected, like Boris Johnson took an 80-seat majority and he hemorrhaged that support. By the time he left office, they were down by like 12 or 15 points to Labour. Labour were in the lead. This idea that they could hashtag bring back Boris and everything will be okay and they'll just storm the election is fantasy. Honestly, like, you know what it reminds me of? Is like Oasis fans who are endlessly banging on about, you've got to get the band back together. Oh, I love Oasis. Oh, She's Electric. You know, Definitely Maybe, all of that. Oh, I love it. Why won't they get back together? Honestly, for a country with this weather, we are mad keen to put the rose tints on, aren't we? Oasis fans are like, yeah, get back together. You conveniently forget that the last 3 albums were shit. Johnson to join election campaign in the Red Wall. I'm like, please, bring it on. Send him up there now. See how they greet him. I mean, if you look at Lee Anderson's constituency, Lee Anderson obviously in the news yesterday for having defected to Reform. But just look at his constituency, a Red Wall constituency that in 2019 turned blue. Everyone was like, wow, this is right, okay, old Labour mining town and all that. Well, his constituency are on course to boot him out and go back to Labour. So what does that tell you about the popularity of Boris Johnson, Brexit and the Tories in 2024? Oh, we're going to bring back Boris. Please do that.